We're in the building.
Oh yeah,
on time.
On time.
Look
Look at Sky's background. That's so fire.
Hey man, shouts out to Produced by Germ on Twitter who put this together, man. He's been dropping some heat with the AI.
He's cold blooded with it.
Yeah, he's nice.
Yeah, that was real cool. Law, I saw your interview with Malik Hooker. That was dope, bro.
Oh yeah, shout out to Malik, man. It's my guy.
Yeah, man. You doing some amazing things, John. I caught your y'all got it. If you haven't read that article, man, John doing a selfie. I'm like, look at John on the athletic.
Oh yeah, they've been pushing that stuff.
They want that. They want that from the
more TikTok, John.
I'm like, if the team I covered made more moves, I'd do even more.
Talk to him.
I'm not going up to the Star recording videos because they brought in another 1-year deal on Corey Ballantyne. You know what I mean? You got to give me something.
Breaking news, emergency podcast. Yeah. Cowboys signed Corey Ballantyne.
No offense to Corey. I mean, I hope he has a big year and everything's great, but that's not going to probably get me up to the Star to do a 2-minute podcast or a 2-minute video.
Most
Absolutely. We actually did have some transactions, John. So we'll let you talk about that. But episode 98, fellas, is it 98?
Yeah, Greg Ellis.
We're working on getting that in the. We're going to talk to our people behind the scenes and make sure that we get that on the screen. But fellas, let me just ask y'all, how are you guys doing? You guys all right?
We're doing good. Doing all right.
Feels like a calm before the storm. I don't even know if a storm is coming, Mr. Wayne. I don't. But it just feels like that with the Cowboys. At least maybe it's me hoping. I don't know. Is it me hoping that there's a storm and a good storm? I want a good storm to come, but it just feels too calm right now around the Cowboys. I don't know if, it's like when you got kids and you hear it's quiet in that room.
Too quiet.
What the hell going on? It's too quiet in that room.
I will say this, Guy. I do think that there will be movement on draft day. Just I have some type of a feeling that we'll get some fireworks.
I agree. Draft day they usually do moves.
Yeah,
I'm talking before the draft.
Okay.
I feel like there's got to be something, man.
Something on the way.
Yeah.
Okay, I like that. I like that still. Law, how you feeling, man?
I'm feeling the same way Sky is feeling. I'm thinking that the Cowboys going to mirror what they did last year as well. There could be a trade after the draft.
Okay.
I'm just thinking. I'm just have a good feeling of that. But they are making moves, and every move is kind of like teetering towards them drafting a linebacker because we have yet to pick up a linebacker. So yeah, I feel good.
And John, before we get to How's Johnny, you feeling all right, man? I'm
great. Yeah, going to Arizona on Sunday for the owners' meetings. We'll be there through Wednesday. So all the owners will be there. All the head coaches will be there. So maybe for Sky, maybe they'll get together and something will happen and we'll have something fun to report about. But yeah, I went to that owners meeting. This is the one that they did last year in Florida and they rotated off. So this year it's in Arizona. So I'm looking forward to that because I haven't been to this one before. And Shadi will be there. Jerry's supposed to be there, Steven. So I'm interested to hear what they have to say about this inside linebacker situation. So
Shadi's been everywhere. I like it. I got some thoughts on him. But John, we'll start with you as always with just what are you hearing on the ground? Obviously, we made a few transactions, signed a few players, depth pieces. I'll let you speak on that, and then we'll get to these pro days and an article that you wrote that I think is a great topic for the Cowboys. Good exercise.
Yeah. So the biggest thing that they've done recently, which isn't a ton, is just that they've signed a couple of corners to 1-year deals. And we had mentioned earlier Corey Ballantyne, but then yesterday, Darian Kendrick, a guy that spent time last year with Seattle and with the LA Rams. He had a couple of picks last year, another 1-year deal on both these guys. And so where I'm coming from is you add both of those in with what Mansour Delane from LSU just ran at his combine. I mean, I'm sorry, at LSU's pro day. And that just makes me start to think that, you know what, it's probably not realistic that corner is in play at 12. I think Delane's gone by 12 now. I think his stock is going to, I mean, he's clearly the best corner in this class. I don't think he's going to make it till 12. And so I do see like their corner room right now looks like a room where they could potentially go without drafting a corner. I'm not saying that they should do that, but they have so many bodies now to throw at it that I could see them potentially not being as into possibly going after a corner at 12 or 20. Now, that's not like they have a lot of top end talent. It's Savone Ravel, Deron Bland, Kobe Durant, Kalen Carson, Reddy Stewart, Triquez Bridges, Corey Ballantyne, and Josh Butler, and with Darian Kendrick. So it's like, out of all those guys, why are you signing more guys to one-year deals unless you potentially think that 6 of these guys are going to be the guys that are on your 53-man roster?
Respectfully, bodies. That's all that I see when you say that. Respectfully to these players, and how many of them are one-year deals? And
most of them,
exactly. And then the best ones are coming off of another foot injury and just trying to bounce back from an injury from that. So I hope that's not the thought. I hope they're not saying, you know what, we're just going to throw a bunch of bodies at this thing so that we don't have to take one of these top corners in the draft. It still feels like it's a need, unless your thought process is, well, we can go line up at training camp and be fine. If that's your thought process, is all you want, you're absolutely right. There's enough bodies to do that. I don't know if there's enough out there to compete with the high-end receivers as you're going to play.
No,
Yes,
and there's
indeed.
probably not, but I wonder if with your new DC having his background being at defensive back, if it is one of these things where they think that they can throw a bunch of numbers at it and they can get some of the best years out of some of those guys. And obviously we already know, like right now with that group that I just mentioned, I would expect that your starters would be Savone Ravel, Deron Bland, and Kobe Durant. But I could see them also feeling like, yeah, but we could develop one of these other guys, whether it be Kalen Carson or Reddy Stewart or Triquez Bridges, one of them into, you know, what Deshaun Wright was, you know, or something like that, where you have like a solid 4th or 5th corner there. Now, I still think that they'll draft one as well. I'm just saying that it makes me wonder, because of the other roster holes at linebacker, at edge rusher. I think that I think defensive tackle is absolutely in play early if the right defensive tackle is there, now that they moved on from Osa and Solomon Thomas. And it's not like they've run to go throw numbers at that position. They haven't run to throw numbers at the inside linebacker position. So because of that, it might not mean anything, but it is just kind of, it got my radar up a little bit. I'm like, why are you adding more of these corners when you already have plenty of these one-year guys that, you know, that would fit fine with drafting a corner at 12, drafting a corner at 20, and then adding, let's say, 2 or 3 of these other one-year deal guys in the mix, let them battle it out in camp and see who is the last man standing. But now that they just keep adding more, I'm just kind of like, maybe that is their plan. But obviously we'll know more once the draft comes, because I don't see them making a trade for a veteran corner. I would think that they would be drafting one at some point. But if they're not taking a corner at 12, it is pretty fascinating to me, because so who is there at 12? You know, if you're not going corner there, I mean, maybe a Reuben Bain slides. I don't know. You know, maybe they like one of these defensive tackles more than we do right now.
Right.
But I mean, I just don't see a world where they can go anything but defense still at 12 or 20.
Right. None of these moves are moves whereas it requires you to move off from a defensive player. But these moves can mean 2 things, whereas the direction by us not picking up a linebacker at this point, that they could go get a linebacker, or it could be a situation whereas the Cowboys may still draft a Jamad McCoy type. And now that you got these other ancillary pieces, you don't have to throw Jamad McCoy out there week 1, week 2, week 3. You can slowly integrate them into the system. So that could be a strategy by them.
I think that if Jamad McCoy goes out next Tuesday and runs a 4.3, he's in play. And he should be.
The way he's moving, you might throw him out there week 1, 2, 3.
Yeah. He doesn't. I think this is totally different than Revel. And I've come around to that, because early on, I don't know. You know, I was kind of like, they haven't had success with these types, but it's almost been 2 years. It doesn't seem like he has anything to hide. You know, these guys are very self-conscious. You know what I mean, Law? So he wouldn't have let Oliver put that out. The trainer, DB trainer, by the way, hey, don't put this, you know, the agents, you know, they'll get involved, John. Don't put this out just yet if he's not where he needs to be. So I think he's in play.
I just would have to look across the Twitter world and YouTube at the fans if they take a guy coming off an injury, because I just know it would be crazy. Like I from a analytical standpoint, he has all the tools, but it's that PTSD. We have a lot of PTSD, by the way. of another injured player going into a room with injured players. And I don't think they can afford to waste years. I know Foots, you're famous right now on Twitter for saying, "Oh, this is a 2 to 3 year thing defensively." You're not wrong that it could be that way, but they don't have 2 to 3 years just to be effing off. Like they got to get guys in here that can go. And McCoy may be able to go, but I just know PTSD will trigger a lot of Cowboy fans, and I can't blame them, man.
Yeah.
Hey, let me ask you this.
You think more PTSD than taking offensive lineman at 12?
Yeah, you read my mind. That's what I'm about to say.
As long as they take a defensive player at 12, it can be any position on defense. As long as they take a defensive player at 12, it will not be more shocking than standing in that Ford Center when they announced that they took Tyler Booker. I mean, that was and Tyler Booker might go on to be an outstanding Cowboy that he can go on to be Zach Martin. But I will just say, when they made that pick, that of my 15 years covering the Cowboys was the most surprising pick that they've made.
Wow. Yeah. See, I'm the other way. That didn't surprise me. That's what they do.
I just thought there were far other needs than that. There were far more needs at other spots than that.
Sure.
And to take a guard there, that was kind of after you just took an offensive lineman the previous two first round picks.
But the pattern was there. 2011, they took a lineman. 2012 or 13, they took a lineman. 2014, they took a lineman. Like they've done that before when they wanted to rebuild the line. So that's why I'm on the other line. Like, that doesn't surprise me, and it won't. If they
all right, what was more surprising than you last 15 years?
Taco. I'm telling you, when they took that,
there was plenty of talk about Taco all leading up to that. There was no talk about.
There was plenty of talk to me about the position.
Yeah, they were going Taco or TJ Watt there. That one didn't surprise me. Micah Parsons didn't even really surprise. Micah Parsons at 12, or I'm sorry, at 10 with both the corners there. Now that would have surprised me. Probably 2 for me is probably CeeDee Lamb, just because I thought for sure that they would take Chason being there. And actually, what would have been really fascinating in 20's draft, considering that Terrell's brother is in this class from Clemson. Let AJ Terrell still be there. One pick later, and I wonder if that would have been the Cowboys pick. I really do.
Wow.
Let me ask. I want to ask a question about Sky brought up we're talking about an offensive player, and I've been quiet on it. I don't know if you guys have noticed. I have not chimed into that at all, because I will say, if Dallas doesn't attack with this draft capital, and they don't attack defense because what happens is we have our board, but teams have different boards. And you mean to tell me that you're drafting with 2 premium picks, you can't circle a player or go get a player or find some type of way to get a premium defender? I would not. And the only offensive player I'm taking is Jeremiah Love. That's the only one. I'm not touching a lineman. I'm not touching there's no way. I'm not touching a receiver. And this will probably hurt me later, because they'll probably draft Francis Mariota, and I'll be on here like, well, got another lineman. This is what they do great. But I just feel like, you know what I mean, Scott? I just feel like, what are we doing? Like, what are we doing even talking about this? But I get it. It's draft time. You could get wiped. And that's why I said I had to think, Sky, I can't take Jamal McCoy off my board, PTSD and all. But if he's moving well, hey, we got 3 hurt corners. All 3 of our corners got issues, but it is what it is.
The hurt boys or the ACL boys. But it can be a double PTSD, right? Whereas
that's what I was saying. They have multiple PTSDs. It ain't just linemen or hurt guys. There's a lot of things they got going on.
And they can do it all in one fatal swoop next month. By getting the offensive lineman and getting Jamal McCoy.
Oh, my God.
Man.
I just wanted to press that button. But,
they can go 3 for 3. Trade for a Michigan defensive lineman.
Oh, wow.
Take an old lineman, then take a hurt guy. Oh, Lord. They'll be tuning out by then.
That's a trifecta. I ain't gonna press it no more.
No. I love it. Hey, keep that drop is hilarious. Now I will say this though. We talk about guys falling.
Yeah.
You guys see what Daniel Jeremiah said on
what did he say? What did he say?
He said,
"Okay."
I tweeted this. It's getting a lot of traction. I didn't even expect to get that much traction, but he basically said there are teams that have Dylan Thieneman and Emmanuel McNeil Warren over Caleb Downs.
Wow.
Now, only reason why I believe
is it for the injury?
Yeah,
no. So still, this is the thing.
Hey, bro, come on now, dog.
come on, man.
What was his reasoning?
So he and I remember us having this conversation. I said, "Yo, fatigue, like you always say, Scott, that's one of your deals. Fatigue." But I think what he brought up was interesting. He said, when you look at him down standing next to McNeil Warren, and how he looks versus Thieneman, and the fact that he hasn't ran, he didn't run a 40, and teams, and he said it. He said that he hasn't made any splash plays. This is Daniel Jeremiah saying this. This isn't like so.
I wonder how much money Jerry paid him, because if he fooled around,
I want him to keep saying that.
Jerry, come on.
I want him to keep saying that. But let me ask this.
This reminds me of Kyle Hamilton all over again.
Safeties don't go high, y'all.
You right.
They don't.
All over again.
All right, well, just be careful.
I mean, when you say high, you mean top 5?
Because I don't want you guys to be upset.
Top 15 is high.
I don't want you guys to be upset. We come back on the show and they draft at 12 and he's there and they don't take him. I mean, how sick are you going to be over that?
We moving furniture, man. We moving furniture.
Who the hell
is Jamal Adams, last safety in the top 10. 2017.
Yeah, Derwin James slipped too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like what's so you mean top 10? Top 10, but top 10 for me. If you're getting drafted in the top half of the first round, that's pretty high for a safety.
Absolutely. Let me ask y'all this. You guys watch Malachi Starks. Is Caleb Downs better than Malachi Starks to y'all?
Yeah.
Starks was a better playmaker, but
see what I mean, Scott? When you start talking about, and Starks went later when you start talking about some of this stuff, is interesting. Is he better than to you, Scott? Let's stay right here. Is he better to you than Derwin James?
No, I think Derwin James coming out was better.
17th.
But you can't see. Here's my thing. I hear what you're saying, but each draft is different.
Yeah, this one's weak.
Yeah, exactly. So like, if you're just gonna go where he was drafted, put Derwin James in this draft.
Don't say that.
He's top 10.
I'm sorry, Ruben Bain's little arms in a good draft is not going top 10. Sorry, just not.
You put Ruben Baines in 2021's draft, he out the top 15. Like that. So that's why I hear what you're saying, and it's an easy, thing to piece together. But okay, let's go back and do revisionist history on that draft, the teams, what they needed at that time, the depth of the said draft, like all that can. Because like I just said, you put Derwin in this draft right now, how are you not looking at him as a top 10 pick?
Yeah, I mean, bro, and this is the thing about it. Maybe
I like now, like obviously, I would take him at 12 in a heartbeat.
But I always say this too: Cowboys fans by default are probably some of the smarter draft fans than probably I want to give everybody on this panel may be smarter and more versed than every other fan base when it comes to the draft.
Well, I'll tell you what's really helped too from just afar. I've told a lot of people this over the years. I kind of took it for granted. Probably the first few years I lived down here, but when you have shows with Brian Broaddus, who's been in actual draft rooms, and Dane Brugler, who does it 365, that's their job. There's not a lot of fan bases that have somebody like that that knows their team and knows how that the process works. It's not really out there like that. And so, no, I would completely agree with you. And then all the work that you guys do too, putting up videos, watching all this different stuff. I mean, there's just so much Cowboys draft content. And then the other piece I'd add in there too is that you're kind of forced to in what we do, because we know they're not going to do much in free agency. So where are they going to do the most building on the roster? It's going to be in the draft. So that's why when the season starts in December, if you're hey, I don't know if this is going to be a great season, you start looking ahead a little bit, because you're well, how is this roster going to improve? They're probably not going to make too many big swings. It's probably going to have to be done through the draft. And so, yeah, I would completely agree with that.
To your point, I often say this each year. I think Cowboys fans may be the most knowledgeable, whether you're college or casual or in-depth diehard fan of the cap, because this team makes you. It forces you to understand why and why not, because we get, pie and cap this and all that. So we have to know and learn, because we're not a team that goes into the free agency and says, you know what, who cares about the cap? We're going to go sign somebody. So I can guarantee you, that filthy team, up I-95 for me here, we can go cap for cap. We know way more about it, because they don't got to worry about it. I don't give a damn about the cap. What are you talking about? We have to be wait now. We got 13 million on the cap. 8 million is gonna come off because of this dead money. We know it, and then it goes to your point. We have to know it because we don't do anything else with it, but have to learn it because we're not spending the money.
Yeah, definitely. And then there's always a storyline about saving, not to bring him up, but MP, there was a whole conversation. Well, we can't get this guy because we got to pay this guy down the stretch. And then when he gets down to paying them, they do this whole thing. So you're right, Sky. It's all about the pie and the alibi with that, so it's crazy.
I like that pie and alibi.
Pie and alibi. And to be honest with you, like, we look at our team, and I say this, we look at our team from a Cowboys lens, and we got a lot of needs, right? But if you pull back the Commanders' needs, they need a receiver, right? Yeah. The Saints, they were talking about pairing their young quarterback with a good receiver. Like, we are blessed to have a top-tier offense. You look at some of these other teams, I mean, hey, Dan Orlovsky, keep talking up Ty Simpson. He's the best quarterback in the draft. Please get him in the first. You know what I'm saying? So, and then we can have this conversation about safety, because I do believe there are teams at the top of the draft that'll make themselves like a pass rusher more than they will like a safety. There's a team that'll say, you know what, Peter Woods 2 years ago was the consensus best player. He's a defensive tackle. We want to get tougher up the middle. So
and that team could be the Cowboys.
Hey, you've been saying that a lot. You've been talking about that. What are you hearing about Peter Woods to Dallas, John?
Well, not necessarily just about Peter Woods. It's that when they did the Osa and then Solomon Thomas within an hour of each other, that made me think, like, okay, Kenny Clark isn't young. I mean, I'm not saying he's like an old man. I mean, he probably can play well into his 30s. But same thing with Quinnen Williams. Like, you have 2 first-round picks. You need defensive help. You're changing your defense.
Right.
You trust in this young defensive coaching staff. If they're, that's the thing. Like, those defensive tackles could be where they look at and go, that's where the best value is, at 12 or at 20. One of those that maybe. I'm just saying, it wouldn't surprise me if they took a defensive tackle in the first.
And they didn't replace them.
Right.
That was really interesting to me, which means I'm with you. I don't think this can be ruled out. Either him or is it McDonald, the Ohio State kid? But
Jay McDonald's really good. Yeah, you're right. I
mean, you know what? I'm just thinking, the Giants in our division, Harbaugh. What's normally that he used to draft with in the first round? Is he a defensive guy? Or
was it DaCosta as the GM over there? I don't think Harbaugh was really doing the drafting over there.
He's not okay.
Yeah, so I know part of the reason that drug out, like, I don't know if you guys remember when that happened. Like, it was like kind of being reported, hey, John Harbaugh's gonna be the next Giants coach, and they met and everything and then nothing got signed for, like, from what I heard, that's because there was some back and forth about, like, who was gonna have final say in personnel. Like, John Harbaugh wanted more say, which makes total sense. You're not just sitting there running to take you're John Harbaugh. You're gonna get a good job, but he wanted say in the personnel. So that does make me wonder, like, okay, is it going to be the way Eric DaCosta drafted, or is it going to be where, he's doing something totally different his way? I'm not really sure.
Yeah. I only said that because, Malachi, he went to Starks. He went to the Ravens, right?
He went to Baltimore too, yeah.
Yeah. So I was thinking, like, Caleb Down, just trying to match that symmetry up. But they could be too rich at 5, right?
DJ, he sounded super confident. And DJ's around these execs. He's somebody that I trust. He doesn't just throw stuff
absolutely.
out. Yeah, like
I like Jeremiah.
Yeah, Law, he's basically like, listen, I'm hearing 10 to 20 for downs. And, like, he was confident with that. So is it the one that you are saying, John? No, seriously, as we go back to it, is Peter Woods, and it makes you think, like, is Dallas just going to say, you know what, we have a strength on defense that we can make it a strength, and if you look at how he played in 2024, and he can come in day one, be part of his rotation, be really good, keep guys free, it's something to think about. As we transition, though, I've seen Shotty at all of these pro days. He's taking guys out to eat. John, what are you hearing about this? I heard that they really like Anthony Hill. They worked out Malik Muhammad. They're going to be they were at Texas A&M today. They were at Texas yesterday, and they'll be at Texas Tech tomorrow.
Yeah, they're at Miami the day before that. I think on Monday.
They were at Miami. That was a smoker too. What are you hearing about all of you guys? What do you think about the rounds that they're making at these pro days? And Shotty really leading the charge. Looks like he's getting involved in drills, being right there talking to these coaches. What do you guys take on that?
Yeah, I would say that a big part of it is I don't think he wants to be somebody who is just kind of sitting back. He's always shown to me that he wants to be very hands-on. And so, he's going to be part of the final decision making when they're making these picks. Jerry and Steven wouldn't have made him the head coach if they didn't trust, the way he goes about things. And so I think he wants to also be able not only to talk to the players and be around, the coaches and things like that, trying to pick their brains about these players, but it also looks good that for the scouts and everything, like, hey, he's putting in the work, he's going on the road, he's going to be, out there. Now, that doesn't mean that he should just go and draft whatever players he wants, but that's also not Brian's personality, is to do that. So I think it looks good, Will McClay, Christian Parker's been a lot of these as well. So, it lets you, really think like, okay, well, they're not going to leave any stone unturned with defense, which is good because they haven't had a great defensive drafting track record recently. And so I think that they're doing what, they should be doing. And it obviously looks good to be at all these schools that have defensive talent. So I think that that's the thing that stands out to me more than anything. But I don't know, in this day and age, I don't know that any of these players, it's not like it used to be. Like, they're all going to know a ton about a lot of these guys, but who knows? Maybe there's something that you go out to dinner with a guy and you are like, I didn't know this about him, and now I like him a little bit more than maybe I did before. And maybe that's the difference when you're in that draft room. A lot of people talk about that Mozzie Smith pick and how it wasn't just this foregone conclusion. Okay, we need a defensive tackle, we're taking Mozzie. Like, there was a lot of back and forth in that room about if they were going to take a guard or they were going to take Mozzie. And so, you have to be prepared because those conversations are coming for you as the head coach. That, Jerry's going to look at you as one of the final decision makers on, okay, well, which way do you think we should go? Absolutely. And especially when you're an offensive-minded coach, you better know something about these defensive guys because you're probably going to have to be drafting multiple ones in the first round.
That's a great point, John.
Two of your points there. I do wonder, maybe this is the case, if Shotty's going to be a little bit more hands-on than Coach McCarthy was. Right. Because I remember that viral video of them, I don't know if it was them deciding on Bergeron or Mozzie, or it was another part of the war.
It was that one.
Yeah, they looked over to him and they said, well, what do you think, Coach? Whatever you guys want to do, man. Let's just go, baby. I'm just here, man. Let's do it. There's
just like coming. Anything.
Hey, that's how you cracking jokes. How you say it, Scott?
It was just like anything. Just go. Like, I was like, damn, dog, you really don't care. Because I remember when he came in, he said he would be a little bit more hands-on than he was in Green Bay, but he must have been completely hands-off in Green Bay because he had admitted he let Ted Thompson, I think is his name, do a lot of the stuff. And then it came out that, McCarthy just wasn't a guy that really cared too much about player personnel or the draft. He just said, I'll coach him up. And then to your other point, something. I mean,
three of his 4 first-round picks are CeeDee Lamb, Tyler Smith, and Micah Parsons. Maybe it's better that the coach sits back and lets the guys do their job that should do their job.
I mean, those are easy, right? The top high guys on the board, just take the damn pick. But the other point was,
I think Tristan Hill was the highest guy on the board.
No,
you don't think a coach got in there might have?
Well, we're talking about first round. So after the first
that was
day,
your first round pick that year.
Yeah, so. the first day is fairly easy. You just really just stick to the consensus board for real. Right. But it's that second, third day where that's the real. Okay, let's see how you really. Part. Yeah, my opinion. But the other part was you talked about the shot. He actually mentioned this. I thought this was very important about pro days. He basically don't give a damn about the physical stuff. He said, I wanted to see us, paraphrasing, the intangibles. Like, who are you first in line, last, first to show up last year? The things you were talking about. When we got to dinner, do you love football? Some of those things that may not show up, because he was like, I got the film. We all have plenty of film to see how you are physically. He said, these pro days for me are more about, seeing the intangibles, if you will, about this player. And that, I like that. Yeah. Because was that something that was a focus? You brought up Tristan Hill. You brought up
Mozzie. I don't know how you do that with Mozzie.
Exactly.
And that's a big one for me.
And he could have been, I don't know. Was McCarthy there? Was he at the Michigan Pro Day? Was he at the Kentucky Pro Day? Was he at Tristan? No, it wasn't him. That would have been Jason Garrett. Were those things emphasized? I don't know. I don't believe so, because I don't know how you take those guys. So I'm okay with Coach saying, you know what, the physical stuff, cool. We got the tape. Do you love this game? How are you moving? How are you taking the coaching? Are you taking what we're saying, learning and implementing right away? Are you first in line? Let's go out to eat, like you said. Let me get to know you a little bit more, because If it don't vibe, I ain't feeling it. I'm not taking you because I'm not trying to be involved in the boss man Fat Mozzie situation.
You know, the only thing is with Mike McCarthy, I beat him up a lot, but I've taken some of it back now after hearing CD Lamb talking so glowingly of Mike McCarthy.
He's a player's coach.
Yeah. So I see it differently now. Yeah, but I see exactly what you're saying.
What do you see differently? I'm curious.
He loves Shotty too, though. That interview he did, he loves Shotty.
I'm just curious on that.
I'm just saying that, you know, I think that, like you said, with the players coach, with the offensive guys, I think Mike McCarthy had his fingerprints more, but not with the defensive guys. You know, that's how I'm looking at it. You know?
Mike McCarthy won't be fully judged and shouldn't be fully judged for at least another 5 years. Because I can tell you this right now, if they don't get back to the playoffs and like a 5-6 year stretch, that's going to make Mike McCarthy, because I know that there's this narrative now that is like, no, they underperformed with those teams, you know, and I don't know if you go 5 years from now and they've made the playoffs one time. I mean, that's going to make Mike McCarthy look like, well, maybe he knew what he's doing a little bit more, you know.
Which is
Mike McCarthy came in at a good time, talent wise. If Mike McCarthy took over the team last year, I think he'd have struggled just like he did his first year. Granted, it was injuries the first year, but
yeah, Mike McCarthy is a big. I mean,
Right.
I mean, you got to get. I mean, let's be honest. Jason Garrett got lucky to a certain extent with Dak Prescott. McCarthy, obviously, Dan Quinn, whoever you want to give the credit to or say, you know, benefited more. They got so lucky with Micah Parsons, and with that, both situations I like using because the whole league would have got lucky if they got either Dak Prescott or Micah Parsons, and the whole league had a chance if they really wanted to. You know what I'm saying? If you had any idea Micah Parsons was going to be that, you would have done everything you needed to do. You didn't have to get to 5. You didn't have to get to 10. You could have got to 12 and taken Micah Parsons. You know what I'm
Where
saying?
did we draft Micah Parsons at?
12.
it would have been 10 had they stayed there, but they knew they could
drafted him at 12. And that's my point is like, let a good player fall to you. You know what I mean? Everybody, all I've heard all week is nobody's going to be there when the Cowboys draft.
I mean, that's been since the draft process started.
Yeah, there's just nobody. We got to take this offensive player. No, you don't. There's going to be offensive players that go in the top 10. That's not true. There's going to be good offensive talent that goes in the top 10. Everybody doesn't have a dire need on defense. The Browns don't have a dire need on defense. They just don't.
Let me ask y'all this then, all three of y'all. 12-5, 12-5, 12-5. What was more disappointing? Was it the offense in the postseason or was it the defense?
Both.
Yeah, it was both.
I don't think
really,
you
for me, I can get by. Like seriously, like I can get by the first 2 years losing in the playoffs. I mean, it happens. Whatever. That Green Bay loss is the one 2023 forever because that's the one where
to
just
give
like
me a heart attack on a Wednesday night. I do not want to talk about this Green Bay game.
Yeah, that's the one that you really can't come back from. I mean, in a way. Yeah, I mean, you just see a lot of sports right now. How quick, like when you have bad losses like that, how it usually costs you your job. That's the one for me. That's where it was like, I don't think Mike McCarthy was as bad as some people say.
Right.
I think he's better than a lot of people thought he would be. But that Green Bay one, you can put it on McCarthy, but when I go back to that game and that, to me, the magnitude of that loss, it's hard for me to look around and not point the finger at just about everybody. Top down, best player, worst player, best coach, worst coach, everybody in the front office. Like,
hey, John,
I can point to everybody on that one.
Listen to what you said. Top down. It starts at the top. It starts with your head coach. When in a game like that, to get punched in the face like that, because that's what LaFleur and those guys did. They came out and that this is why I don't like. This is why I said I actually like how involved Shotty's been on the defensive side of the ball, and like him talking the language and knowing what he wants to be, is because to Sky's point, it does feel like it was like offensive. It's felt like that. It's felt so disjointed in Dallas for a while. And when you play a team that has an identity, and really, I don't even think Green Bay was a super tough team. They just knew they were tougher and could run on Dallas, right? Like, but nobody picked Green Bay to win that game. And so that's why that game, to me, somebody said in the chat, it broke this team. We haven't
been back since, Tom.
And I think that was what Mike McCarthy being so flat.
The Green Bay game is a low-hanging fruit game because of how bad it was, right? Everybody should have been fired after that game and started over then, for sure. But you can go back before that. I often bring up those 49er games. Like the 2 losses you had against the 49ers, you came out unprepared both times. The second time, offensively, you scored 12 points. Granted, it wasn't McCarthy's offense, but that could go to the point of, well, when you decide to keep on another coach who doesn't jive with the head coach's vision, the head coach is going to do what? It's your job. What? You call it, you install it, you call it.
Yep.
That's exactly
Like,
what happened.
It felt very petty. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I felt like there was some pettiness between the two where McCarthy was like, no. Go ahead, man.
Go ahead, kid. Go ahead.
Fam. Where why weren't you in this young man's ear? Where were the counters, and why are you not prepared? Why are you coming to me after the game telling me we was nervous? I will never get over that. I lied to you not. When he said that, mind you, this was year 2. I was having doubts, bro. I was like, hold on, man. This head coach talking about my team nervous at the crib and you 12-5 on a home game to go play for the NFC champ. Hey, man, I don't know, but
that's why.
I mean, did he not have any, like, I don't know, like star players or anything that could maybe have stepped up or anything? Was he just coaching like the Sienna team? Like he was all supposed to be on him. I mean,
I think the question is
somebody could step up and make a play too. You know, I mean, the guys that are actually on the field. You know, I mean, this is big boy ball now.
There is no one is absorbing the players. But at the end of the day, when you go into the playoffs and you have 3 losses the way you had them, there's a pattern. And the pattern, I mean, I broke this down almost to a science. It's all there. Slow starts, not being prepared. Defensively, you're just not good enough ever defensively. You abandon the things you did well in the season. You get to the postseason offensively. You don't do any of this shit until the game is over and you have to make this comeback. Like, yeah, Mike is very involved in the problems that happen in the postseason as well as the players, obviously. But there is a pattern here, and he's responsible for this team. Now we can go higher if you want, but we're just talking about the coach and the players right now.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not absolving him from any of that. I'm just saying that they had a lot of players on that team that could have been that are very well compensated that could have showed up a little bit too. And the reason I differentiate the Packers one from the Niners one is because those Niners teams at the time I thought were the best teams in the NFC. I've never felt that way about that.
But you're never going to get to the big game without beating one of the best teams.
Oh, for sure. But those games were at least like those are actually like quality games. Like they were actually tight. Like the Packers one, they just smacked you right in the mouth right from the beginning in your building. You're the 2 seed, and it was never even close. And that Packers team was not like that.
The only team you beat was one of the worst teams in the NFC.
Way different to me.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Let me say this though. I want to say this, John. You say that about San Fran, and it's so crazy because Dan Campbell won and lost the game when they played that San Fran team. Because I thought you talk about a coach who has his guys ready and up and ready to go is Dan Campbell. And they came out and punched San Fran in the mouth. They just did stupid stuff on 4th down and kind of gave that game away. But they should have won that game. It's a totally different loss than how Dallas is losing games. They're getting behind. They have no run game. They're getting run on. They're getting run at. The players, nobody has any grit. To me, that's on the coach. When you have a team of guys who aren't feisty, who don't talk back, who get punched on. And this is why I've said, offense, are you kidding me? Go find me dudes. Go find me. If Bane has short arms, but you want to trade off him because you say he's going to make our team tougher, do it.
Do it.
If you want to sell me on that, do it. You all went to Miami and you say this guy is tough and he's going to help our physicalness, do it. If you want to trade up for downs, do it. But we need pedigree. I started this draft season saying pedigree. And it has to be on defense. I don't need anything else on offense. We're fine. We are fine. And I'm not coming off of that. So that's where I feel like when it comes to this team, the physicality was way low in those games. And Mike McCarthy had these guys like Lulu. Like they were almost like scared to play football, which it just couldn't happen. It can't happen. You know? I'll fix it, guys. My bad. I was
preaching.
Random. You boy preaching.
Yeah, you know, so I'm glad Law brought up a heater, you know. But it really is an interesting conversation because I think it all, Sky, you said it. We were disjointed, bro. Right. It's so disjointed. I mean, Mike, you could probably say him and Dan probably didn't even. I don't want to put this on them, but I don't know if they talk. Do you think they talk about the defensive game plans?
I highly doubt. Highly doubt.
That's the problem.
You're probably, that's a fair assumption, but they were cool. Like I
don't think they didn't like each other.
I think he was like, Dan,
do your thing. Dan, do your thing. Because you've been around a long time. Mike, I'm gonna do my thing.
There was no marriage
There was no
to
marriage
the team. Yeah.
And this time around, we can literally see, okay, this is some marriage thing that's going on with Christian Parker and Schottenheimer. I think that it was kind of like off energy last year. Schottenheimer had all of the energy. Matt Eberflus was like a stone over there. So now I hope I can only hope that this team can now be on the same page with the energy. Hey, and all of those boys that they're picking up, like the Kobe Durant and the Kendricks, they got a little fight in them. I like that,
You know, I was thinking about this coming into the show today. It just randomly. I'm like, the signings that the Cowboys did this offseason, they would be perfect for a defense that is already established and ascending, if you will. Right. Like, I truly believe it. Like, these 1-year deals, not a problem if that is just a play in your playbook and not your star play in the playbook. And this is the Cowboys' main play. We're going to sign a bunch of This is like the 5th time they've done this over the last half decade, where they sign a ton of 1-year deals, and we just hope to hit on something. But a lot of these guys are actually pretty quality depth guys or role player guys if you had a defense that was already ascending, if you will, right? But because this defense is not there just yet, it feels a little, I don't want to say empty calories, because I do like a lot of these guys, but it's is it enough? Like, is it? I'm still hungry, if you will. You know what I mean? Because I'm starving. That boy's starving.
Starving. These are all appetizers.
That boy's starving. You showed up with some water. Yeah, the water gonna keep me alive. I need some food.
Yeah.
need some fuel.
It's like when you go to the gas station, you see the homeless guy, and they be like, "Can I get $5 or some money?" You be like, "No, here's some water, sir." That goddamn water.
Gotta eat food. No, that was a really good topic, guys, and I think that it feels empty, and to Sky's point, because you have players missing at key positions, right? You can't say you're a tough defense without a great middle linebacker. They just those two just don't go hand in hand. You look at all the top defenses, or even close to good defense, they have a dog in the middle, and Dallas is looking to fill that. Sky, your video was great this week. Law, you've covered it. I want to talk about. Okay, so John was supposed to be on here, but he got, I don't know if he got debunked. I don't know what's going on.
He said his Wi-Fi is not connected.
Uh-oh.
You want to press one more time?
Something going on with his Wi-Fi.
Something wrong with the connection.
We'll hold down John's article. So, and it goes to Sky's point. The Cowboys their draft big board, their possibilities. So the Cowboys' goal in free agency, and John Wright, he wrote a great piece on, their goal in free agency was to be able to draft, as Sky would say, you don't want to be hungry. I steal that all the time. Don't go to the grocery store hungry. Correct. But or high. Or high.
I would not recommend that.
But I'm gonna tell you this. Dallas hasn't done that because they have dire needs. But I'm starting to feel like, and I'll just preface this and then we'll talk about, hey, what's up, pretty girl? I will preface this by saying it's starting to feel like to me, Sky, DB and end has even trumped backer, and they'll wait and see. Because it feels like every mock draft I see in your video on the pass rush, I feel like they just are looking at it like, man, let's just build this D-line, but I could be wrong. So let's go through a few names, and you guys kind of tell me if this is possible, non-possible, likely, not likely. And we'll start with number 2 on John's list, Caleb Downs. I kind of gave you guys the report earlier that Daniel Jeremiah said that there are teams who are higher on other safeties than Downs. To you, Law, does that still feel like it's likely, unlikely? What are you thinking?
Yeah, it seems like it's likely. And it seems like what Scott is saying is basically like all of those off-season moves would be great if it was already an established defense. Well, all of those guys are like bridge vet guys, right? They can help these young guys out, and none of them move the needle. So, yeah, I mean, it's more than likely if Caleb Downs is there at 12, we finna get him, man.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree. And it goes to your point a couple of weeks ago. You said and you said it today. I mean, safeties just don't get taken that high in general. Right. So if teams are looking for, if there's any other sliver of hope, if you will, for the Cowboys, it's that safeties aren't valued that high. And then B, oh, well, is there an injury situation? Or now Darren Jeremiah is talking. So I think that's more likely than not. But you asked me this right after the season when Caleb Downs there wasn't draft fatigue. There wasn't, there's an injury scare. I would have been like, unlikely, hell no. But yeah, I think there's a possibility for sure.
You've been I was about to say you've been sky on likely. You've been high on Caleb, and I think you pop him into this defense with the safeties that you have on the roster, because I sneakily kind of like Jalen Thompson mixed with some PJ Locke, a little bit of a lead hooker, and then you pop Caleb Downs and then you let him kind of roam the box. It feels like you got that attitude. So I'm gonna go likely.
It's only two teams that's in the way, and that's Kansas City and maybe Cincinnati. It's gonna be hard for Caleb Downs to pass through Kansas City, especially since they got rid of.
Don't sleep on. I know you know more about this on Washington because you there. But we got to remember, Dan Quinn knows exactly what it's like to have a top-notch safety room in Seattle.
Yeah,
and they just lost Cam Curl, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah, 2 years ago he went to the Rams and played well.
Yeah. So don't sleep on that long time.
You're right. Hey, let me ask y'all this. We've talked about it, but doesn't hurt. Good content. Would y'all go up if he starts to get close, Sky?
We definitely talked about it a while ago. I'm like, shit, if he sit around there at 9, 10, and you're afraid that he's not going to last, it cost me a day 3 pick. Why not?
I think I'm doing it too, Sky.
Our best trading partners will be, I think, if we can bully the Saints a little bit.
Yes,
get on the phone.
Get Kellen Moore's punk ass.
Yeah. Kelly, man, we got you now. And
we got you this job.
Kelly, you owe us, man. Kelly Moore owe us now. You owe us a little.
But you got to talk him up, though. Kelly, you know what? You was the best offensive coordinator we had. I don't know what we was thinking, Kelly, but in the meantime.
Kelly throws a bone. All right, here's a tricky one. How many times has an off-ball linebacker went in the top 10? I think the last one was Roquan Smith, little draft nugget for you all. Wow. Sonny Styles falling. Likely, Sky? Unlikely? And if so, you doing it?
Oh, if he falls to 12?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, sure. No, I mean, obviously, who's left on the board? But yeah, I'll take him at 12. How likely is it? Again, this kind of goes along with the safety position. It's a position that's not valued. Off-ball linebacker, I can see it happening. I think it's more likely than not. But this top of the draft, it just doesn't feel rich.
Yeah.
So you see a talent like that who's versatile, that athletic, can be a playmaker. Man, again, I don't know other teams' needs like we were talking about. I'm just thinking about the talent. So I'm thinking about Downs and Styles falling is like, wow. But then when you put the other pieces together, I can see it happening because of the value.
Yeah.
And maybe if you get some Ty Simpson, right? A couple of these offensive guys that kind of pop up. More likely now. Yeah.
You know what, Sky? Before you go, Law, people are giving Dan Orlovsky a hard time. I really think he believes that Ty Simpson is the best. I don't think Dan's trolling. People are saying
bro.
That, but they're saying the agent thing, Sky. But
that's what I'm saying. Like, I think that's real.
But let me ask you this still. Dan is a lot like me. He gets a little emotional at times. I get emotional. Bro, I don't think he's gonna go out. He was upset with McAfee. Like, they were like not upset, but like it was a heated thing. I don't think
because Dan said he ain't playing big games, bro. What are you talking about? How can you say, man, those ain't playing big? He literally, what are you talking? So I mean, so I get why Pat was saying that, but I think there's something. Look, I don't want to go to turn this into that type of show. I think there was something to it because 100% these agents, they do these type of things. We even heard about it with PFF. Like we've seen, hey man, give our guy a better grade, something on the side type thing. Right. So I think there's something to it. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, the profession, national TV sports commentator has gotten so off the rails that it's hard to give anyone the benefit of the doubt anymore. And I think part of the reason is because you're asked to give a hardcore standout take that can be clipped up and spread on social media. But I don't know, like, I'll take this one example out of it. I'll just tell you that, like, for me, Dan Orlovsky 5-6 years ago was not the same Dan Orlovsky is now. Like, when he got into being on ESPN, I was just like, man, this dude is a star. Like, everything he's bringing to the table is just like, man, this is great. This is exact. And I always thought it was authentic. But then I feel like over the last 2 or 3 years, like a lot of people in those positions, you feel like I got to lean into more of these hot takes than maybe necessarily what you feel when it's just like, all right, what am I going to go on this show and say Mendoza's the best quarterback again? Everybody already knows that. And you get bored with it. So you're like, oh, this is how I'll spice it up. I mean, I easily could have taken Jeremiah Love in that mock draft that we did at the Athletic when he was there at 12, but I just don't think the Cowboys do that at 12. So I'm like, I'm going to draft somebody that I think if Mansell or Delane is there, I think that's somebody they would realistically take, you know? But hey, and that's why I probably will never be on one of those shows, and that's fine, you know? So
as much as I go back and forth, listen to Dan Orlovsky, I listen to him when he breaking down film.
There you go. When he
breaking down film, I'm listening to him. I don't give a damn what people say what his record is. I love the way he break down film, but some of the other takes, I know how it goes. Yeah, they feeding you stuff. You got to talk about this and that, and it waters down the content. But how likely Styles falling all the way to the 12th? We got Styles got to get past the Giants and the Washington team.
Yeah.
We will have a probably 75 to a 85% chance to get him if he can get past those two teams there.
Yeah. And I think too, John just said it as we read John's article and we talk about some of these names. Every time John has did a mock draft with other writers, there's been a guy there that you like, correct, John? Absolutely. That's what I'm saying. And so I think that it's, it's a lot of panic amongst the nation, but I kind of want people to just let's hold on and let's get to this thing. Let's get all the information.
Can I bring up the Jeremiah Love point real quick? Because as you said that, John, and then toss this to you guys as well, where you said you don't think they'll do it, right? Could this be comparable to 2016 where now this is obviously top 5, but let's just pretend we're not talking top 5. They're still in the top 12. Zeke versus Ramsey. Could we be looking at a Love versus whatever high end defender? Like at that point in time, a lot of people were also saying, "Hey, get the damn their defense needs help here, right? Like you just ran for 1,000 yards with DMC. You got an amazing offensive line. You can get Derrick Henry was available for you in the second round. Like there was legitimate conversations about it, but there was also Zeke is a mother. He's a motherfucker, so he can help your quarterback, et cetera, et cetera. Do you think that could be lingering in Jerry's head? Like, well, I know we need defense, but this running back could help extend my quarterback's career. Love is a very nice name to put on the back of the jersey. We can't rule that out. Like, could this be a comparable situation?
The only reason I'll say it won't is just because of how bad the defense was last year. I mean, that's at some all new lows there. And so, hey, if they're completely sold on this new coaching staff that they can just coach the players up on defense to make them at least decent, sure, that's a possibility. But like I think about when you bring up the Lions losing that game to San Francisco, that following year, they get the 1 seed in the NFC. They got an offense that can do whatever they want against anybody in the NFL.
Terrible,
and they couldn't stop anybody. So where is that getting you? And so that's my whole thing. Like, okay, so wow, you got Jeremiah Love now and Javonte Williams and Dak's throwing, to Pickens and Ferguson and CeeDee Lamb and Ryan Flanoy's taking off. And there's even more gadget ways we're using Kevontae Turpin. Cool. And you're giving up 41 a game too. So you're losing, 41-40. Like, I mean, where are you going with this? I don't know how you I don't know how you watch this past season's playoffs and think that you're going to get there without having any defense either. So but if you're just trying to sell tickets and have the best offense in the league, then go ahead, take Jeremiah
But if they
Love.
take a defender 8 picks later, is that easy?
They draft Jeremiah Love at 12. The 8 picks later better be you're sending that pick over to the Raiders for Max Crosby.
Hold on, now you give me.
Hey, John, now you do that
in a heartbeat. Like, God damn it, you kidding me?
I would rather it be Caleb Downs and Max Crosby, but okay.
Hey, listen, hold on. Now you're talking good now, especially if you can, like you said, you parlay it and you still got 8 more picks or whatever, 5, 6 more picks, whatever. So that's good stuff, John. You definitely,
let's just keep it rolling. Just send that third over and go get me my man from Miami at linebacker too.
Help them picks, man. Them picks, man. Come on, man.
I'm gonna do one more because I want to get to these, and we got a hard stop in an hour. I want to do one more.
And super chat.
That Sky and Supers. That Sky talked about that John actually has ranked over the guy that I talked about, and it's a good ranking. He's been getting a lot of pub. Number 12, Caden McDonald. I feel like we need to start bringing more names to the conversation. And John writes, Trey Noso Digizua and Solomon Thomas means another interior defensive lineman could be off the first round, could be a first round option. With Quentin Williams and Kenny Clark are your two starters, but adding a young, talented guy up front who could just come in and he is physical. He allowed Arvell Reese and those guys to run to the ball, and you still got your threes and you got Kenny. It could be a really good situation. Likely, unlikely. Where we at, fellas?
It's not like a sexy pick, but it's like a understandable pick once people see the productivity of what McDonald kid can do. So you're right though. I would love to see that because we know it takes. Hear me out, y'all. And I know we got a hard get off, and I know I'm long-winded. Mozzie pick. I understood it, but the Cowboys didn't because you got to marry those picks up with a veteran guy. And like you just broke it down, you get that boy inside, that's going to help out every level on this team, and especially pairing them up with Quentin Williams in there. Yeah.
But I mean, you take Mozzie in the first round, which D tackle is definitely need to put next another top type player next to Osa. I understand the vision completely, but I will also say that from just what I've seen, which obviously I didn't watch him the entire time in college, but from what I've seen from him in the pros, I just don't know that there's any situation where it was going to be drastically different. Where like Mozzie Smith's making Pro Bowls because he got drafted by San Francisco. Like it was so bad that I just think it's just a bust pick. I don't think it would have mattered where he was.
No, because I don't think he had it up there.
Right.
But you made a fantastic point. Oh my gosh, fantastic point about when they brought in Mozzie. I get it. It was needed, but we wasn't ready because you didn't have the room ready for a young buck to come in here. And it's almost perfect timing too, because Kenny Clark, probably 2 years max. They'll revisit this after this year, and they probably can get off of it if they don't feel he's up to snuff. But if he has another good year, you get 2 years with Kenny Clark, and then you get hopefully he retires here, Quentin Williams, and that allows that McDonald to be that third wheel in a rotation and then eventually take over when he's in his grown man body, peanut butter body, shouts out to Vach, when he's a young veteran in year 3 or 4, right? He's not just a rookie and wet behind the ears, breast smell like Similac. So I love that thought process, and that's why I think it's more likely. John brought it up before when Osa and Solomon Thomas are gone and they don't replace them. That's the key part. Like I think we forget here, your depth is shot at defensive tackle. We went from this room is deep to there ain't no depth, bruh. You got 3 starters and who?
Yeah, and
the
really,
1 starter is on a 1-year deal.
And we don't have a lot of size, right? So that's something that we're gonna have to fix too.
I think we're bigger than we were in previous year. We're bigger than last year because you got rid of 280 and 290 player and you got 310, 305 with Quentin, 320 with Otito. We are bigger.
Otito.
Okay. Yeah, we don't got a bunch of 320s, but we bigger.
I saw Law just put in the chat. He said 336. You get in John, like I said, essentially you had him ranked over Woods. He's rolling. He's flying up board. Yeah. He could be mystery player that goes, right? Yeah. It happens every year. I'm talking about not to the Cowboys to go in the top 10, period. Ooh. Right? But then think about it. We just had a conversation about getting bullied. We just had a conversation about not being tough. Those conversations are over now because where do good teams win, y'all? They win in the trenches.
Yeah.
So now if a team can't come in here and just run at you all game, if a team can't come in here and just line up and, hey, we're just going to move you around, I'm starting to talk myself more into this pick because it's like, the linebacker, the flashiness, Sonny Styles running, all that. But if Sonny Styles and guards are getting to him and he can't play blocks, this guy he's gonna sit in the A gap and you're not gonna move him.
And may I add this to it as well? Is like with that 12th spot, you wouldn't have to pick him right there. Yeah. That could be a trade down opportunity to hold that spot for ransom. And then if you still have tags touching, then you can circle the block, pick up an extra pick, and still get him for that purpose. So you're right. You cooking with that.
You might be able to get him at 20. So you gotta be the 12th pick.
You might, but I thought I wanted to throw that one out there because like
Mhm.
he's a name that we're not talking about,
Right.
but he could be a pick that Cowboys fans may need to at
It's a
some point
position that we're
understand.
not talking about. We weren't for a long time because you had a deep, roster. Now, I just don't think you can rule this out. I think this is more likely than ever now, before, than it was 3 weeks ago.
Hey, Scott, I'm gonna toss you the quarterback duties. I got a boogie, y'all. Can you get to these supers or you don't have to?
Yeah, we can get to the supers.
Yeah.
Okay,
I got you.
All right, hey,
Me
I
and
love
Lark
y'all, boys.
do.
I got a boogie, man.
Appreciate you, brother.
Later, man.
Yeah. Fake.
Let's hit these supers now. Now, if I'm not mistaken, over here on stream, y'all, we got to scroll down, Law, if you will.
Okay.
Can you see him too?
Let me see.
Only problem is I can't bring him up because I don't have. Yeah,
okay.
I can't bring him up for everybody to see. So all I can do is just go off what we see here. Reginald Cofield 3756 dropped 5 and said, if our top grades are gone, oh boy, is Sadiq the tight end too rich to take? Yes.
I'm not a big fan of first round tight ends to begin with. The track record is just not there for it. Let somebody else be the one that figures that one out.
Come on. Where's Sam Laporta? I thought it's your guy. Where did he go?
Even Sam.
I also don't think that
he's not Sam Laporta.
I don't think that Brevin Spanford has hit his ceiling yet. Like I still think that there's something there. So I don't think of it as just Jake Ferguson. Like I think Brevin Spanford is going to be a really good starting tight end as well. So
right.
I don't think of that as being a big need. Now, if they didn't have one of those two guys, yeah, maybe that factors in a little bit more. But the tiebreaker for me is that I just don't love the production of a first round tight end.
I agree.
Versus other positions.
Versus others.
And then you can get something like that. David Njoku, he's still on the market, is he? Or was he picked up by someone?
I think he's still out there, to be honest with you.
I mean, I'd rather just go squeeze some money down on that one instead of first round.
And just first round tight ends. I mean, if we're talking back in the 2000s, maybe, right, with the Jeremy Shockeys of the world and Vernon Davises and things like that. But even then, you just look at the history over the last 20, 25 years. It ain't fun, first round tight end. We got my man's from Norway. Giannis from Norway dropped $50 in Norway dollars.
Damn.
I don't know what that is converted. I don't know if that's 500 American or 50 cents, but either way, we appreciate you, Giannis, for the $50 in Norway currency.
Yeah.
Somebody tell us what that is, though.
I want to know how much coins,
He said, yo, Giannis from Norway, the Cowboys trying to money ball tactic to fix a historically bad defense is hilarious. This defense will be bottom 5 again. I hear you in the first part. I do think, though, Christian Parker will make this a better defense than bottom 5. I feel a little bit better about that.
Yeah. And then I trust some of the pieces like Marcus Dixon's and then the Ryan Smitty. I think that we'll be a little bit better than 32. Come on now. Give us at least 25. Norway.
Yeah, I can see it. I said this to 2 eye shots out there. They have to obviously get 2 productive players out of this draft at least. And then this is the big part because everybody keep thinking the rookies is going to come here and change it. It ain't. You're going to need to get some mercenaries after the draft. I'm talking good ones. I'm talking at least 2 or 3 good mercenaries to finish this defense out, and then I think we'll be all right.
All right, I'll do.
Brett Mayfield dropped 10 and said Jeremiah Love at 12, defense at 20 and 92. Oh, at 20 and 92, ball control, penalty, potentially all-time offense. I hate that. I hate the word ball control. I don't like that, especially if you think you got a bad defense. All that's doing is delaying the inevitable. But man, give me Jeremiah Love at 12 and what John said, trade 20, get Max, and trade 92 and get me Brooks, and we ready to boogie.
Yeah, one can argue in 1990 we needed defense more than we needed offense, and the Cowboys drafted a guy named Emmitt Smith. So if it is a situation that we get Jeremiah Love, I'm gonna do what I said like 2 or 3 weeks ago, Scott. I'm gonna let the cake bake. I'm not gonna decide anything as far as my decision because, like you said, after the draft, if we can do those mercenary things, we'll be all right. We'll be all right. Yeah.
Big Bitness 3477. Appreciate you. Drop 5. He said we are valuing our needs. We are holding downs on a pedestal because we watched Dono. Milgai is the best player in the draft, and no one wants to say it. Very bold. Mr. Big Business. You think we're putting downs on the pedestal? I mean, he's top 5 talent player in this draft, right? Unless you don't believe so.
I love defensive players that make plays. I mean, especially when you have a defense that didn't make very many plays last year. Anybody that made plays at a high level, I'm all about. So if he falls to 12, I would like that a lot. I mean, now, don't get me wrong. You could possibly talk me out of him if this was one of those years like the Zeke draft where they had a top 5 pick. I could see, I mean, I'm not taking me personally, you guys might, but I'm probably taking David Bailey over Caleb Downs if they're picking in the top 3. I'm very,
Right.
you know, they do the, what's more important, the back end or the front. I've told you guys before, I'm very heavy on the front end. Like I want the best front end causing the most problems for opposing quarterbacks. And so for me, I would take Bailey if I had a top 3 or 4 pick, but I just think if Downs is there at 12, that's pretty great.
I actually agree on the Bailey because he's actually more of a need. To be honest, you do not have a twitched up, edge rusher with juice on this team right now like that, in my opinion. And you can still get the safety at 20. You're not getting a Bailey at 20. Ain't happening.
Oh, I see how you're going with that. Yeah, I feel you on that. Yeah.
And the Bit Business dropped another 2 and said, need the Harlem Heat background. Gotcha, my boy. I think it's Ray. I'll get it next time. I thought I had it, but I'll get it next time for you, Big Business. But that's all we got on the super chats, man. So any other thoughts you guys have as we head up out of here?
No, man, it was a great show, man. We've been kicking it. And hey, I can't wait for next week, man. We might have some exciting news, man. So come on with it.
What you know, Lord?
I'm just saying. We've been working hard, man. We look, everybody, ladies and gentlemen, we are in our George Pickens phase right now. You know what I'm saying?
So you saying breaking news, Cowboys signed George Pickens? Is that what I'm hearing?
Mm-hmm. I don't think that's happening. But
no, not that. But I'm talking about us in general.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got you. Here's a Harlem Heat. Here's a Harlem Heat for you, Big Business. Appreciate you. With that said, man, for John Machota, our guy Foster King, Law Nation, Skywalker Still, this is the Cowboys Collective. We out. However, I don't know how the heck we gonna get out. So hopefully somebody behind the scenes will get us about.
Yank the cord.
Somebody gotta yank the cord.
Yank the cord and roll it up.
Appreciate y'all. I'll press this though.
That loud. Hey.
What's your point? Okay, so what?
I guess we're gonna stay like this until Foods come in and take us up out of here.
Just play every drop you have, one after another. How many you got on there?
Oh my God, who the hell cares?
I think I got about 20.
Well, what I'm saying is that there are known knowns and that there are known unknowns, but there's also unknown unknowns. Things we don't know that we don't know.
I got this one from. I got a whole bunch of them, John. Good.
What's the most recent one you've added?
Just drop them.
Which one? I added some real crazy.
Kiss Sarah, Sarah.
I started watching From and I got stuck into it, and now I can't stop thinking about From. And I think they're coming out with another episode next month.
So that board you have, you just have room for 20, or that's just how many you have on there?
I haven't counted, but I got a board with 20. And then I got a digital board, like an online board, with over 100. So
damn. Okay.
We be pressing buttons all day. So when I'm doing like a marathon show and I'm bored, I pull out this big old mixer board on my desktop, and I just be pressing all of the buttons, and everybody like, yeah, Law, yeah, we love that,